Well, there we go. 3 Studio Series Thundercrackers, which doesn't seem a lot. They're making 2 more next year. What's going on, everybody? Republic Cinema here, and in this video, we're going to be taking a look at the new Transformers Studio Series Gamer Edition War for Cybertron Thundercracker. If you guys remember, the Skywarp repaint came out earlier this year. Now it's this guy's turn. On a side note, it's worth mentioning that I've never played the Transformers War for Cybertron or the Transformers Fall of Cybertron video game. I would like to check those games out sometime. So how is Thundercracker over here? Well, before we take a closer look at the figure, let's take a quick look at the packaging. On the front of the packaging is the artwork for Thundercracker in both his robot mode and alt mode. The rest is all just words, names, and logos. The same thing applies for the top. On the left side of the packaging is a closer look of the artwork in robot mode. On the right side is an extension to the artwork from the front. And then on the back is the info of what you get inside, along with the top left of the packaging showcasing a look at what Thundercracker actually looks like in the game. And that sums up the packaging. Now back to the figure. To start off with the painting and sculpting, the sculpting is literally the same thing, except the head sculpt has a different facial expression. Now for the painting, is it just me, or did Thundercracker's blue color scheme seem to bear a darker tone in the game than this figure does? Like I said, I've never played the game, but I do recall looking at some pictures where I've seen what it looks like, and yeah, the environment was very dark. I would also like to point out that you would think the pattern for the paint scheme is the same as Skywarp, but there are a few differences where there's some parts painted that aren't on Skywarp, and then there's some parts that aren't painted that are painted on Skywarp. Also, I believe this piece that's made of that flexible material, or whatever you call it, is the same color as Skywarp, and I think Starscream as well. The kibble is still the same as before. I've always felt the alt mode kibble management on this figure was never bad, except for the fact that the backpack doesn't necessarily tab it onto the back all that well. While we're on the QC related topic, the joints on this figure are not too tight, not too loose. If there are any joints on this figure that happen to be just a little tighter than the other joints, it would be right here, and maybe the bicep shoulders. For accessories, guess what returns for the second time? This thing. Only this time around, the hilt is made out of blue colored plastic. The mace appears to be the same thing. Here he is equipped with the mace, and I'm gonna be honest with you, but this accessory is starting to frustrate me. It doesn't help that this accessory kind of weighs the arm down due to the mass. Well, depending on the angle of the arm. But still, I mean, couldn't this accessory quite possibly be exclusively sold along with Starscream in the first place? The other accessory he comes with is a gun, which looks an awful lot like the gun that comes with Barricade and the Decepticon Soldier. However, there is a size difference between the two. You could either have Thundercracker hold the gun like this, or like this, where you completely swap out the arm for the gun. I prefer this method. Hot take, this should have been the accessory that all 3 of the Seekers came with. Not this thing. This thing sucks. You can store both weapons on the back for weapon storage. And yeah, that's the accessories. Now moving on to articulation. Ball joint at the head. The wings can move from side to side. Full rotation at the arm. Bend at the shoulder. Bicep swivel. Double bend at the elbow. Wrist swivel. Waist swivel. The legs can spread. The leg can move forward and backwards. Thigh swivel, bend at the knee, the foot is on a pivot joint, the front toe is on a hinge joint, and yeah, that's the articulation. Now moving on to size comparison. Dark of the Moon Thundercracker, Bumblebee Movie Thundercracker, Barricade, Decepticon Soldier, Starscream, Skywarp, Megatron, Bumblebee, Cliffjumper, Sideswipe, Ratchet, Ironhide, Optimus. And then one more thing, here he is next to the rest of the Studio Series War for Cybertron figures that came out so far. Correct me if I'm wrong, but I believe this is as far as it's gonna get for the next 2 years or something. Aside from the 2 Target exclusive repaints of these guys right here. Which kinda sucks, because it would be nice seeing more of these figures. Especially more paint variants of the Seekers. That's if there's different color variants of the Seekers from the game. Be sure to let me know down in the comments on that one. Also, be sure to let me know down in the comments which Studio Series Gamer Edition figure out of all of the ones do you like the most? Because for now, I believe this is all of them. And now it's transformation time, which can get a little complex, I'm not gonna lie. Just start with making sure that the limbs are straightened out. Untap this blue piece from that hollow gap, and then bring all of this out. Bring the wing flap up. Same thing for the other assembly. What we're going to do next is we're going to rotate these sections over here, because we're going to have them conjoin each other. Just make sure as you're rotating these little, whatever you call them, you make sure that this doesn't block them in their way. Otherwise, I don't know, stuff like that happens. Specifically for my copy, regardless of whether or not this is blocking the way, this panel likes to pop off a little too easily whenever I rotate it. For some reason, these are pretty tight. Bring the backpack out, and then bring this piece out. And if that wasn't enough, bring this blue piece out. Close this panel up. Rotate these two assemblies forward, like so, and we'll leave this backpack alone. Push these pieces a little inwards, bring the whole torso up forward just a bit, open up the cockpit hatch, bring the fin out a little forwards, rotate the head, bring it all the way out, and then close it in like so. Make sure you also close this piece in as well. The next thing you're going to do is straighten this assembly and bring it up. Bring the arms up, shift all of this inwards, shift the arms downwards, collapse the arms together, make sure they tab in. We're going to work on the legs next. Bring this panel out until this slot connects onto that blue tab. You could also collapse the front toe inwards. Bring the leg out and then shift it inwards, make sure that this slot pegs onto that tab like so. Bring this fin outwards. Same thing for the other side. The last thing you're going to want to do here is collapse this backpack onto the rest of the jet. Just make sure that these two blue tabs pegging onto these two blue slots like so. So what you're going to do is you're going to bring this down and they should close in like so. And here you have the jet mode, which is basically the same jet mode as before, just with a different coat of paint. And they still haven't figured out how to balance this issue where the arms fold in, but don't want to stay connected. Another thing that's the same is the weapon storage. Not to mention you could throw blast effects on these two slots over here for the boost effect. For a brief comparison, here he is alongside Starscream's alt mode and Skywarp's. Here he is along with both Starscream and Skywarp, and of course they all look great together. But be sure to leave a comment down below which color scheme strikes you the most. Anyways, I believe that's all I had to say for the Transformers Studio Series War for Cybertron Thundercracker. Overall, if you're looking to complete the Studio Series War for Cybertron Seeker Trio, then I highly recommend you pick this figure up. If you're looking to pick him up, he's available over at Amazon, and I believe he was spotted alongside 86 Mixmaster over at a Walmart somewhere. Be sure to let me know down in the comments if you guys have spotted this figure at your local stores. And yeah, if you like what you saw in this video, be sure to slam that like button, share this with your friends as well, turn on post notifications so that way you don't miss another upload. Let me know how I did in this review video, and most importantly, be sure to hit that big red subscribe button. And yeah, that's it. Thank you very much for watching. Teo!